I'm Nessa and welcome to the podcast. I don't know why I'm
Hello,
laughing.
hello, it's me, Slay.
Hi, Sly.
Hello.
Okay, I think that intro was so badly, and you can hear my mouse clicks, but I
You
don't
know,
care.
I
I
don't.
have an intro.
I'm curious. Where did you get your speakers from? Sound like terrible. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I see
Anyways,
everyone's loving the intro.
yeah, it was the Overwatch original soundtrack theme, but don't
Mm-hmm.
tell Jeff.
Jeff Crapalan.
Yeah, we're what?
What do you mean? What?
We are
You know this.
actually in the making of our own intro, so fingers crossed for the next week podcast we will
Oh,
have that. So
that's right. That's right.
don't
Yep.
tell any names. We are like trying to
Actually,
keep it a surprise,
we
like
we
always.
we bribed we bribed Jeff Kaplan's art department so that they could create an Overwatch intro for us.
We did?
But don't tell,
Like,
don't tell Jeff. Don't tell Jeff. It only costs $20 too. It's amazing. Hello,
okay.
everyone.
Hi, guys. Okay, first things
Hello.
first. So, as you know, and as we like showed you before, this is the official Overwatch Discord server podcast. I'm Nessa, and my
I'm Slay.
co-host is Slay, and we are like trying to make this, and I'm talking this from my point of view. We are trying to like include the users of the Overwatch Discord as well as us to talk about games, the community, the Overwatch, and everything that we have in common.
Mhm.
So we are, first of all, we like to thank our Discord staffs, like the admins and the moderators, for
Yep.
making this happen.
Mhm.
And after that, we want to thank you, every one of you, because after the questionnaire was like 1 day put up, we got so many replies and we got so many good ideas from you guys that we are actually very happy that you want a podcast and that you took the time to answer the questionnaires and give us insights of what you want and what you don't want. So we will
Uh.
try.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead,
No.
Trey.
What? No. No. Originally, I was actually not sure about doing the podcast with you, but after seeing everyone really wanting to hear both of us being cringy, I was inspired to do this podcast with you, and I'm very happy for the rest of the community to allow us to have this opportunity because I've never done a
Yeah.
live podcast before, and I'm sure Nissa hasn't before. No, do you have any experience?
No, that's why I'm so excited. My heart is like going crazy right now. And
Really?
what do you mean you wasn't sure to do a podcast with me? Dude, I'm
Mm,
adorable. I'm
no,
awesome. What?
wait, what? I'm not sure any of those adjectives fit you, but if you say so.
Oh, thank you.
It's not a compliment, but all right. Anyway, so should we talk about what we're going to be talking about today? Talking about what we're going to be talking about. Bit redundant, anyway. Let's see. What do we have on our list of things? We're going to be talking about the new patch notes, which is mainly Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. Oh, Mercy's been nerfed. Oh. We'll have a guest speaker here actually. We still haven't revealed our guest speaker yet. Poor Nessa. Oh, and she's back again. Hello. And is anyone hearing Nessa right now? Because I'm not hearing anything. This is strange, actually. I've never had any kind of problem with Discord before. Maybe it's my own internet, or oof. Rip Nessa. R.I.P. Nessa. Let's get a reaction going, shall we? Press F to pay respects. You know. oh, oh, what's this? She's back.
I'm
Holy shit!
back. Oh,
Oh
yay!
my god.
Dude,
What the
like I
hell are you
accidentally
doing?
disconnected my headphones from the computer. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Oh my god. I was like, why isn't she saying anything? She's usually
Dude, I
so
was like
talkative.
screaming, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Panicking. Okay, back
Good
to the
job.
main
First
time.
first podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, we need
Fantastic.
a clapping sound as well.
I
Anyways.
just clap. What do you mean a clapping sound? Just clap.
But I want a crowd clap. Like, cheering
Hey
up.
Jason, could you help me out here? Help me clap.
Thank you, Jason.
There you go.
I appreciate you, man. Anyways, so as I told you, the first thing that we're going to talk about is the nursey, yeah. Nessa, okay. Slay, you got this, man. Like, you start talking.
Nursey.
Nursey.
The nursey
The
mirth. Yes.
nursey.
First thing we'll be talking about is the nursey mirth. So let's dive. No, sorry. I'm not using the right intro. Let's get right into the news. All right. Nursey Merce. Blah blah blah. Mercy is an agile support hero who uses the Cadisea staff, which can be touted to constantly heal an ally. Mercy can also buff the damage output of an allied hero while channeling the Cadisea staff alternate ability Mercy can status.
Did anybody understand any of this? I didn't.
I can't read.
So, anyway, we all know and love our Mercy, and we know her abilities. I guess
She can fly, she can heal.
Yeah, she
stuff.
can buff you, and she can use her Caduceus blaster to for protection. That was the official Overwatch description for her. Yeah, protection.
Hey guys,
So
do you know Mercy's Cadisales blaster deals a surprising amount of damage.
Anyways, for all those DPS Mercies, you're doing it wrong, man. You don't have to.
Whoa,
Well, that's
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa.
official
Excuse me?
introduction. Here. Arm
Wh-
pistol that Mercy uses as protection in an emergency. Like you.
No. Everyone knows the meta is to use your Valkyrie and dive into combat with your pistol.
We will get to that later. Anyways, so. And of course, her ultimate ability was Resurrection that can rise all fallen allies back to life in a radius around her to get them back into the fight. So after a while, that was the Mercy we knew when the Overwatch started. So after a while, the Overwatch team came up with an update about the Mercy Resurrection because they said, and there is an official a YouTube video from Jeff Kaplan himself talking about why the changes were needed. So they were saying that the Mercy Resurrection was abused by some of the players in competitive and quick plays, and they were when you are near ulti or already in full ulti, Mercy players will go into hiding and not heal their teammates in important fights so they can get play of the game after they are all dead. So Jeff said that was the main reason why they changed the Mercy Resurrection, the Mercy Ultimate.
Yeah, not only that, it was also very easy to get play of the game with the old Mercy because you could see an absolutely amazing, skillful Widowmaker 4K on the enemy team, but all the Mercy had to do was hide in the corner, and if the Reaper was lucky enough to kill their entire team, she could just pop out, press Q, and get play of the game, nullifying all of the achievements that the Widowmaker has done.
Yeah. So basically, I was surprised, dude, when they came up with this official statement. I was so actually they are listening to us. And let me say, Overwatch is my first game that has this big of a community, and you're learn to games that the development team is not really paying attention for what the players are wanting, but Overwatch team is there for you, and not only for the Mercy Resurrection and play of the games. They're there for the fan art, for the events, and for everything, and I really appreciate them for that.
No, I honestly think you're right. the community around Overwatch is amazing. The amount of fan art it's produced, the developer commentaries are really good to see what the developers are doing and how they're thinking, which is a great way to interact with the community. The community is very active and, although not always friendly, I mean, I think the competitive aspect of it is making everyone a little bit salty, just a
Yeah.
little.
So, anyways, after the mass resurrection, they came up that the resurrection will be like not an ultimate but an ability that was like the community called Mercy version 2.0. So, can you tell us more about that? Because I'm not a Mercy player, so I don't know all the things about Mercy.
Have you at least played the new Mercy so far?
The new Mercy, I don't think so. And there's
Wait,
a reason
really?
for that. Yeah, let me just comment on the YouTubers, so I will be right back.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah, we are talking about Mercy version 2.0. So, what were the changes? That was like 5 months ago, I think, in August.
Hmm.
Was that five
It,
months
it
ago?
was it was a couple months ago. I don't know, some time ago.
Yeah, I know because I watched a bunch of YouTube videos about right after the changes were made that some of the content creators made, and it was August 24th,
August. Ooh,
2017.
actually, that's 20 days after my birthday. Yay!
Oh, happy birthday!
Yay! That was my birthday about 6 months ago. Amazing.
So let's see. Um, Mercy version 2.0. Ability now targets a single player instead of every player within a radius. Radius reduced to 5 meters. Ability cooldown is 30 seconds. Mercy is no longer granted invulnerability while Resurrect is active. So I think those were like big changes. And I think that those things actually change the meta. Not to mention that now the Mercy players will be included in the team fights, and they will be doing what they're supposed to do, heal their like or boost their teammates.
I'm not sure about your meta comment because before Mercy was highly sought after and competitive due to her resurrect ability. The main point of why she was so overpowered in Mercy 1.0 was because she was capable of resing an entire team if the team died together. But now she doesn't have to hide and build her ult in order to res teammates, which means that she can constantly, reliably res a certain amount of people in a team fight.
Yeah. Okay, so after that, and that was like, I'm not sure, is Mercy the new Mercy, new Mercy version 3.0 is still in the test servers or is it live? I'm not sure about that.
I believe it is currently going through the PTR phase and will be released the next update.
Okay, so that's like next week, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, what are the new changes and why are they like? Why did they needed to change Mercy? Because they,
Mainly it's a ult nerf because her old Valkyrie ult, or should I say her new Valkyrie ult, is basically you fly around and you can res people faster. But that was very strong because while flying in the air, you're very hard to hit because you're flying around very fast. You can res people very fast, and your gun turns into an SMG. So
so basically with the version Mercy 2.0, they make her an unkillable god. So that's how I am getting all of this. So you don't have your resurrection ability anymore, but you can like resurrect every 30 seconds. So one of your teammates die, you resurrect them after 30 seconds. And let me tell you, 30 seconds is a really short time for a resurrection to work.
you
And
know.
after,
Oh
yeah.
wait. Oh sorry. What I
Anyways,
really think is
what?
funny is
Jesus,
that.
dude. Focus, man.
Let
Okay,
me
go ahead. Go ahead. You
talking.
are
Oh my
younger than me,
god.
you baby. Go ahead.
It's great. But what I think is really funny is that even after they changed how Mercy's ult works from hiding in order to work, her is basically the exact same because now you're encouraged to hide more often so that you can peek out and become this unkillable goddess, which means that it's even worse than before, actually. Even.
Yeah. And then what was I suppose what I was going to say that her ultimate now is that just that you can like you have a speed boost, you have unlimited ammo. So imagine if Anna boosts you and you are in Valkyr mode. Like you
Ooh.
can like DPS that shit out of the map.
Spicy. DPS Mercy.
Okay, so the reason why I don't play Mercy, well, basically all my life and all my games, I was a support. I was supporting my husband, as you know, all know. So as he was playing the games like Dota or I don't know, World of Warcraft, I always picked a side that I would support him. But then again, I said, with Overwatch, I want to experience the DPS, I want to experience the tanks, I want to experience the defense. So I try not to learn any of the support heroes. The only hero I learned from the support is Lucio, and that is because his gun can make damage as well as healing. So that's why I am afraid I must admit that I don't know to play Mercy at all.
Wait, hold on. You say you play Lucio for the DPS, but what about Zenyatta? He's a really great tank shredder. Actually, he's
Uh,
Diva's counter.
I, you know, Zenyatta. I didn't play Zenyatta because I think he has low HP and like I am very killable. And
Hmm.
let me remind you that I'm in the bronze rank, so there
Wait.
you, yeah, I'm bronze dude, bronze pride.
Oof. Oof. I'm sorry.
But
I'm
that's
sorry.
another like discussion. Okay.
Ouch. All right.
So, okay, so we saw the Mercy changes, we saw what we are going to expect. Oh, yeah, my point was that with the new Mercy, the development comments were that Mercy Risen Resurrect changes have helped in allowing enemies to have more counterplay in dealing with her, but she was able to use Resurrect during through Valkyr enough to largely mitigate the impact of the previous changes. Additionally, we are toning back the amount of mobility Valkyr provides through Guardian Angel and reducing its duration to overall reduce the power of this ability. So basically, they buffed the Mercy, and then they saw that there were some like I don't know, some problems and with dealing with her, so they said, okay, we're gonna tone this down. But if you listen to Jeff Kaplan, he has an official like statement on YouTube about this. He said, "Don't worry, guys. I know you like Mercy, and if we tone her just too much, we're gonna tone her back. So if the PTR doesn't work like they want to work, maybe we will expect some changes later about Mercy too."
Here's the thing about nerfs and reworks. Every time anything is changed, even towards a slightly negative balance, there will be two sides of people. There will be one side of people will be like, "Oh, that's a perfectly great nerf. You know, I think that hero deserved it because this hero was OP and this factor." But then here's the other side. People are gonna be like, "Oh, they're mercing nerfy again. They're
Mercy
mercing,
Nerfy, yeah.
they're mercing nerfy again. Oh my god, they're gonna reduce her pistol into a piece of scrap. She's gonna get nerfed.
Actually,
Wah."
the only one that like took me by a surprise was the Junkrat nerf, to be honest, because I just cannot deal with that hero when he's against me, and with the buffs that he got with the double mine and whatever that's called. I think they made him more powerful, but then again, I must say, I'm in the bronze bracket, so you don't see very skillful Junkrat players there. Excuse me if anyone finds this offensive, but it's true. We in bronze don't know how to play the game, so deal with it.
I mean, there's always that one statement. I think it
Sorry.
came from Dark Souls. What was it? Two words. I think it was get good.
Yeah. But then again, Bronze Play, it's another team podcast, and I think it's time to introduce our guest.
Oh,
Don't you think?
wow. Oh, I wonder who our guest is.
Oh, I
Ah,
wonder too. So
You made me keep a secret about it for
yeah,
like
I don't know why it
years.
just came like that to me. So,
Okay, fine. I'm
anyways,
eating.
because our
I'm eating.
first team is about mercy, nerfs, and buffs, we decided that we are going to include our guest with us, who is a support main, and who, and you will see. Okay, okay, dude, you have the permission to mute and unmute, so do it, do it, do it, do it.
You have it too. Fine. Ah, jeez. How do I do this? No.
Hi,
Hi guys.
Lego.
I don't think
Claps,
no.
claps.
I don't think this is working, guys. Is this working?
No, it's
Yes, we
working.
can
It's
hear.
working. Don't worry
Oh
about it.
shit. Okay, it's just a Discord bug thing.
So, hi, Lego. Welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You are a special
Uh,
guest star, dude.
I'm sorry, but Nessa didn't tell you about the tax. That'll be $5 and it'll work out, please.
I'll
Don't
snap
worry.
cash it to you soon. Don't worry.
Oh,
Okay, I
cool,
got
cool.
you
I'll go
covered,
then.
fam. Don't worry about
I'm all good.
Anyways, so you all know Lego, and Lego is my dear friend from I met in this Overwatch Discord server.
And,
So
yeah.
we have our ups and downs. I'm kind of scared of him, so I'm gonna try.
I mean, Lego is also a really fun toy to play with. I used
Yes.
What does
he's
that
like-
mean? What does that
Yeah.
mean?
to very really.
It's that you are approachable and you're easy to talk to, and people trust you. That's why. That's what he's trying to say.
And I'm also trying to say
Appreciate
that
it.
if people step on you, they will have a hell of a time.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
a
pretty fun.
Lego. Oh my God, Nessa, you're old. Anyways.
Now you got it, really.
Oh, come on,
God.
Nessa, you're not that old.
Jesus.
Thank you, Lego. That's why I like you, man. Anyways,
Yeah, you're
so
only 40.
dude, like, congratulations on your new coaching position, dude. Like that's awesome.
Thank you.
I
I'd like
hope-
to thank
Yeah.
Dre for helping me with that. Dre was a big help for that.
Yay! Shout outs to
Lego,
Dre.
When are you gonna
Yay.
boost me to diamond?
Boosty to Diamond, I don't know, man. That would be pretty
I'm so
hard.
I'm so close. I'm so close.
Nova was the one who kept bickering over and over, making fun of me for being a low rank, forced me to rank up.
Oh.
Actually,
wait, which rank
me-
are you in now?
Grandmasters?
Rank always matters. It's competitive, you know?
I'm not.
I mean,
sure.
a majority of the people who play the game don't play competitive. A vast majority.
I actually haven't done my placements this season. I really want to, but all I've been playing recently is Warframe.
I think it's with the current way the report system's going, I think Warframe's a better choice.
Honestly, yeah, probably. You'll probably be banned for speaking in Overwatch, no? Like, oh
What?
wow,
Well,
he
if you're
spoke
being
to me in a
extremely
provocative-
toxic.
Oh,
I do really love the new system they have where it gives you feedback, where if your report actually does something, it actually does encourage people to report legitimately more.
yes, but it will probably also encourage fake reports. No, maybe.
Well, that's why XQC had gotten suspended for 24 hours. He was fake reporting or abusing the report system.
That's a new theme for the podcast. Let's not mention him. Anyways, so I have played with Lego, and I must say that was when he was in season 3 and he was a lower rank. I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, so
think I was
we could
silver.
play again together, and the thing is that he kept laughing at me in game, and
I
that
didn't
is
laugh at you. I laughed with
because-
you.
And that's because I might or might not have jumped off a cliff with Winston in an important team fight. There is no proof.
Nice.
You cannot prove that. So anyway,
It's true.
he got better and he just like swoosh and he get into Grandmaster. Is that right? Your
Yeah,
turn?
Nessa,
some
he took
time.
my
It took about-
advice.
It took
took my
about
advice about
4
getting good.
seasons or so.
Yeah.
Four?
So, Lego, tell us the reason why we invited you as a guest is to talk about being a support main. I know that your Lucio is amazing. I mean, we have played together and I have seen your Lucio. You practically didn't let them leave the spawn in, I think it was Temple of Anubis. And that
Yeah.
was like fucking amazing. You're fucking amazing. So,
Thank you.
tell us what you are up to these days.
Well, nowadays I only got the coach role recently, and I've only been helping a handful of people. I like playing in scrims more nowadays because I get a feel for what compositions will work with the new Mercy nerf, what compositions won't work. We More people are leaning towards using more tanks. Um, I've seen triple tank and even quad tank work with Moira and a Lucio. All the tanks would usually stick together, and there'd be area of effect healing. But I've been playing more scrims recently to learn which will be working, and of course helping people in the server with coaching and such.
Mhm.
And that's only recently.
All right, all right. So, speaking of Lucio, I've heard there was a recent Lucio nerf about wall runs. I think.
That was a couple months. Wait, do you mean the one from a couple months ago?
I think so. One of my friends was complaining about
That
it.
was that wasn't that was actually honestly it was confirmed a bug, and it was essentially when the Lucio 2.0 rework launched. There was an
Oh.
addition where when you jump off a wall, you get an additional speed boost in the direction you're looking. When the Mercy rework happened, there was some change to the jumping physics, and that caused that speed boost to be nullified.
But I think
So
that that was
Oh.
only in the PTR, like, right?
it went live for a little bit too.
Well,
Oh,
looks
that
like I'm gonna
sucks.
have good news for someone.
So no, they fixed it. It's been fixed since then. I think
Ah, yes.
like a month and a half to 2 months ago they had fixed it.
Good. I'm
Uh,
playing Lucio again.
at the time it was really bad. I just couldn't Lucio after that bug
Yeah,
came
you
out.
were so bummed up about that.
I had to play
It was
Zenyatta.
sad.
I guess you can say you were playing Lucio. Ha,
Yeah,
ha.
man. The losing
That
streaks
joke.
happened after that.
Alert, alert.
I,
Any,
I deserve a punishment.
I never get
Ah.
to I never get to use the Lucio. Like I know that there is like a trophy for like never hitting the ground to be always on the walls. I never
Yes,
get
the
to do
floor.
that
Yeah.
because I'm such a bad Lucio.
It's that was the pixel spray, right? I think where
Mhm.
you had to get 3 environmental kills without touching the ground.
Yeah, but it
And
doesn't
in
have
real
to be
life,
consecutive.
But that, like, from my point of view, that looks like very hard to do and to
honestly, the
accomplish.
people who get it weren't trying. Like they just got it because they were just playing the game normally. Most of the people that I know that have the spray just got it during a game. They weren't even trying for it.
Wow, that's nice.
I think all you have to do is
Free
just keep
stars.
kiting. No, the thing about Lucio is that your job is to just stay alive. So good Lucios will obviously stay alive, and then occasionally get environmental kills. And if you're playing on something with walls, like say Lijiang Tower, you're probably gonna flank and then boop someone off. One at a time, you're gonna keep circling around, and you'll eventually get the spray. No.
Well, usually yes, but since I would say that there's a lot of hindrance in wall riding all the time, especially in higher ELO where when you're just wall riding all the time, you become a free target.
Oh.
Wall riding is very useful for getting to places faster. For example, like you need a speed boost your Rhine who's overextended back to point, you would jump there, quickly amp speed him back, or someone's low health far away but they're safe, so you can wall ride there and then heal them.
Hmm.
I will point out I was reading the live talk. Ponda is a friend of mine. He is
Oh yeah, you
top.
mentioned him. Hi
Yeah,
Panda, shout out.
he played Lucio in top 500 on EU. He mentioned why three tank meta currently isn't as strong, and that's mainly because pushing through isn't that isn't that strong anymore.
So, if he has to say something, we can unmute him and he can share his Lucio experience.
He knows
Pa-
Lucio far better than I do.
Panda, is that okay? Do you want to talk, man? Feel free to join
Uh,
us. We're
yeah,
nice people.
Put on the
I can
spot.
unmute, and I'll just slowly go hide in the corner. Yeah. I don't know. Wait, who am I supposed to mute now?
Ponda P0NDAA.
He's
Oh, okay,
in the chat now.
cool.
Ponda knew me since I
And
was plat.
you can talk
He's
now.
known me for a while.
I think.
Hi Panda, can you hear us, man? Say something.
Oh, you can speak? Oh, I can
Oh,
speak!
wait a minute, I need to like lower your microphone.
Hold.
Yeah, I'm very sorry, guys.
Sorry about that, man. Speak again.
Hello?
Yeah, we're good. So, Panda, tell us about your Lucio experience and why do you think he's a good support and he should be picked more in the professional teams. I
Well,
don't know
first
what
of
I'm
all,
saying now.
yeah, I kinda got it. So, first of all, I wanted to introduce myself in some sort. So, I'm playing Lucio from the season 3. Season 2, I didn't really count that season because I was gold. And in the same way, I was maining Symmetra and I played competitive for like 2 hours. So, let's not count that one. Let's just step it under the rug. But in the third season, I actually started playing Lucio. And in competitive, I was Diamond. And then a friend of mine said, "Hey, let's make a team." And then we started screaming together, and screams really helped to improving
Screaming?
screaming,
Scrimmage.
Screaming.
Scrimmage.
Okay.
screaming. Yeah, we always call it screaming because we're always screaming, huh?
Yeah, I
Okay.
got you. It's
Oh,
okay.
it's actually painful.
So, actually, you are in a team.
Currently, yeah, we were playing in open division. We lost the last 2 games, so our record currently is 6-2. But it's fine. But what I wanted to say is just I played competitive and I didn't improve as much as in playing scrims. It really helps.
I will say scrims are usually much more helpful because in competitive, often you would have random people that you don't know their strengths and weaknesses. Whereas in
I think-
scrimmages, you know your teams inside and out usually.
I think the
Yeah.
best advantage about scrims is that you get to play with people usually above your skill level. So people like from masters, say, because I'm still in plat, I get to be placed with other people in plat. And the problem is that you don't really learn any new strategies if everyone's playing the same as you. So by playing with more professionals, it's going to be tough. I've actually rage quitted a few scrims in the past, and that's why I don't play scrims anymore because I have anger issues. But I think scrimming is the best way to improve your skill level fast.
It absolutely is. I would agree to
Couldn't
that.
agree more.
Mm.
What the phase is scrimmages? Scrimmages are like let's call them private 6v6. So one team against another team.
Yeah, it's basically custom games with 6. It's basically pre-made competitive games.
Pre-made competitive, actually fun competitive game.
Yeah,
Let's
actually interesting,
yeah.
not rage-inducing competitive games.
But what's also important when you're playing scrims is that now, for instance, a lot of people are screaming just because they don't want to play competitive, and I understand that competitive is currently a very toxic wasteland that no one can escape. But it's better than it was, and I like that. But a lot of people scream and they don't actually try any new strategies. They don't actually communicate with their own team. And when we try to actually practice, learn some new strats or anything similar to that, that actually just takes our time, and we need to scream another day. And so, for instance, we were practicing on one map for 2 months, so we can play on that one map very good. And that one map isn't even the whole map. I'm talking here about the Nepal village. We were only practicing 2 months to have every little bit perfect, so we always win on that map. And when we just find a team playing like they don't care just because they want to have fun, I mean, I get them, but it really takes anyone's time. It's just time waster.
I think the biggest problem with competitive is that even though it's marketed as supposed to be like a competitive game where you're supposed to push yourself to the hardest and play it with like your full focus on, some people just can't take it seriously as a game mode, and they're like, competitive games, what is this? I'll just play whatever I want.
They treat it like quick play.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, like quick play. Competitive is literally quick play with points and leaderboard.
It's like quick play, except the more you play, you get cool golden weapons. Whoa!
I mean, that too, but in quick play, everyone is always... Okay, not everyone is throwing, but quick play is for fun. And in competitive, even though you want to have fun, most of the times someone is going to throw, someone is going to leave the game. Because of the new report system, I actually witnessed so many different players they actually wanted to get banned just to test out the new system. And it's retarded. I mean, a lot of people already said, this system is working, why do you want to get banned? Okay, I'm just going to throw this game. And they even write in chat, please report me, I want to get banned. Why? I want to test the new system. Then throw the next game, I will report you after the game, no problem. But please do not throw this game, I want to win. But
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that I
fine.
think that's retarded. Actually, I didn't know what screams were like a week ago, so I asked around because I heard the word being used in the Overwatch League now, and they were saying that teams are screaming with one another. And when
yeah,
they when they kind of explained to me what screams are, I was like, well, dudes, like if one team is scrimmaging with the other team, they will like learn their strategies. Like, isn't it
okay,
supposed to be
yeah,
like hidden and you like kind of surprise your enemy with a new strategy? But if
yeah, to
you're
have that secret strategy to win. Yeah,
yeah, but if
Mhm.
you're like scrimmaging with the other team that you're supposed to play like tomorrow, wouldn't they like, oh, they will be doing that in this map, so we better prepare for this kind of strategy.
Well, you would have teams that are big enough to split into two parts. So you can have one team or one half of your team on one side, the other half of your team on the other side, and they would scrim amongst each other.
that too.
Yeah,
Ah,
But
so
you
like
have
football
one
team.
thing too. So currently, the main problem is that Overwatch League is too small. It only has 12 teams.
It is
But in
very
the
well,
small.
it's
future,
a
it's going to
start.
expand, and it's going to have more. It's going to have, I believe, and I believe it's going to succeed. We're going to have more teams. But currently, the way it works is teams that are actually not playing the first stage as much as other teams are screaming together. For instance, you have Houston Outlaws and Seoul
Hmm.
Dynasty. They're actually screaming together, and I think if I recall correctly, I think Ryo Hong actually complimented Jake that he is one that you shouldn't just joke around with. He's
Yep.
actually a fearful opponent. You should really, really be careful around him.
And as we
And
all know, the Houston Outlaws will win the entire thing.
Oh, come on,
yeah,
shut
yeah,
up.
Obviously.
Okay,
Since
okay.
it is my hometown, of course, it's obviously gonna
Yeah,
win.
yeah.
Yep,
No,
yep, of course,
the
of course.
Koreans will win.
Jesus Christ, Lego! I expected more from you. Shanghai Dragons to do. Oh, come on, man! Shanghai.
Florida mayhem, obviously.
Yeah, meme team. Let's go, man.
So, by the way, I didn't plan to talk about the Overwatch League, but I was like doing some research, and I saw that there is a lot of games left to play. Like we are
Hmm.
in a league two, in a week two, and I think that they will play like 3 more weeks, and then the playoffs, and then the finals. Like,
Hmm.
why is it so big? Why do they need? Like you said, they're it's a small league right now. We have like how many? 12 teams, I
Hmm.
think.
Yep.
Why do you think that they need so much time to prove who is the best this
Because
year?
Blizzard threw money at the tournament and they want to make sure that they threw it in the
Okay,
right
you
direction.
can't just say it like that.
You
Yeah,
can't
Well,
don't
just
it's
bash
spill the
true.
Blizzard.
truth like that.
Maybe he will
It's
sponsor
true.
us.
Also, it's they're treating it like an actual sport. Since esports in general is getting more popular, Blizzard understands that and wants to treat it like an actual sport with a proper schedule, proper amount of games, with proper finals, etc.
I think the worst thing about it is that it's Blizzard is trying too hard to push the esports category of Overwatch. Like from the very beginning, they've already tried to push competitiveness of the game. But the thing is, the way that the game was designed, I don't think it was really meant for like competitiveness. Like look at other games such as say
That's
TF2 or League of Legends or CS:GO even. They all have easy to pick up games, but then they have really high skill curves and all that thing.
yeah, and the
Hmm.
main problem in Overwatch is that they can't really decide if they actually want to create a competitive shooter
Or
or a
casual.
casual shooter. And we actually saw that with the recent Mercy. We had
Hmm.
Mercy for 6 months, and the only reason she wasn't nerfed so quickly isn't because of the meta. Meta didn't change at all, not even a slightest bit, just because Mercy was so strong. The main reason was because is a lot of Mercy mains playing casual. They only play Mercy because it makes sense, fun. I'm not really sure why. And they even said, we love playing Mercy, Blizzard loves us, or something similar like that, but making a competitive shooter and just trying to cater to the casuals, that doesn't go together. And that's the main problem they faced. And
Yeah,
they're not
that's
going to fix it.
why. Yeah, that's why competitive is a cesspool, and you know, I don't
Hey,
play it
you
anymore.
also keep in mind competitive is full of a lot of people who think they know what's the right way to balance the game, when in reality balancing game is so much easier than just saying, oh, but just nerf Junkrat and then buff Mercy a little bit and you'll be fine. It's so much more than that.
They're like,
Yeah.
oh, dump numbers here, write
Dump
something here.
numbers
What
here.
we,
Just,
what we
just changing. There are some nerfs that or some changes that you can tell are more oriented around the top tier. One example I can think of is when they changed soldiers' damage from 20 to 19. That's one that won't affect casual players, but would affect the people in the professional competitive scene. And then you have the
McCree
Lucio
flashback
rework.
buff and McCree
Yes.
flashback buff too.
Okay,
Casual
yes.
section. Yeah.
I actually have a theory about why people are winning competitives and why some of us are not. Like when you are in a team, you know how the team works. You know what. When I'm with you, I know what to expect from you. Even if you are a flex player, I know how your support will work. I know how your DPS will work. But when you are like joining a competitive gameplay without any teammates, even if all your teammates are good at this game, if you're not coordinated and play as a team, you will lose.
That's true. You can, I mean, there's ways to counter that where they have the time played on certain heroes. So if you see someone pick Reaper, but they have a lot of hours in Tracer or Genji, you know that they play a flanking style of Reaper, where they would jump in, kill someone,
Yeah.
and then wraith back. Or if you see someone pick Reaper and they play McCree or Hog, you know that they play a more peel style of Reaper, where they would stick in their backline more.
But like you know these things, I didn't know that. But then
Yeah.
again, that's why you're a coach now, and I'm
That's
still
true.
in
Oh, Lego, you're a
bronze.
coach? What did I miss?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Wait, I'm clapping actually.
We will pray for him
Thank
to
you.
get all the stupid questions in the world Overwatch
Already
related.
Ooh,
Already
actually,
do, don't worry.
I might put in a formal request for Lego to carry me. Yeah.
Okay,
No,
no, I'm
no,
reporting
no
this for
carrying, no
boosting.
carrying.
He's
No,
not
no, no, no.
Carrie. He will
Sorry,
give you
sorry,
like
Not for
sorry.
free.
advice.
Shh,
I
not
meant,
for
I
free.
meant coaching. I meant
Oh.
coaching. Quote
Oh,
unquote.
Oh.
coach.
Coaching.
Oh.
Coaching.
Caring.
Coaching.
Coaching.
Coaching, yeah, coaching.
Okay, so guys, do you have any questions about Ponda? Him being a pro player. By the way, what team do you play? I don't think I get that. What's your
At
team
which
name?
point did I ever say I'm a pro player? I never said I'm a pro
He-
You
player.
are a
he-
pro player in my eyes.
Compared to
That's
us,
it.
compared to us.
Yeah.
Okay, so current team I'm in is named Sellout Gaming because we are all sellouts.
Amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
It's a Croatian team
Yeah.
mainly.
But we were mostly just making some of our own teams for our tournaments. We had like 3 or 4 regional tournaments, and it's more not really for the prizes, even though we had fine prizes, still serious peripherals, then Oculus Rift and such. But it's not for that. It was the how to explain it. We just wanted to connect with each other because for 1 year we had this very big Croatian Discord server for every Overwatch player, but it is still dead. and
That's
and
because
even-
Lego is not in it, dude. Like, didn't you get it? Lego is
They
the
don't
one.
work. See, the thing is, I have
you just got a Lego.
Yeah,
I have
you
a Serbian friend, Voyin. He's the
Oh,
one
yeah,
who
yeah.
translates. He translates
Oh.
all my trash talk to them.
Yeah, I remember when I sent you
Jesus.
something and he translated that to you, and you were like, "What did you do with my mom? What?"
Yeah. I didn't
Isn't it
understand
frozen?
any of the
Actually,
trash talk.
That's the reason I sent it. Why did you need to translate it? No, it's not fair. Fuck you. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. No, okay. I forgot. It's
So,
a
Ponda,
podcast.
I'm actually like close to you. I'm from Macedonia, and I know
Romania?
Macedonia.
My
Macedonia.
friend is actually. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Macedonia.
So actually, we have like struggles with organizing tournaments and to. I think that the reason why your country is not small, but mine is small, so I'm free to say that when it comes to organizing tournaments or I don't know, Comic Con or Gamescom on BlizzCon, those small countries are not included because I think that we have to like show Blizzard that we try and we have teams and we are trying to do something with the gamers community for, in our country so they can like send us help or like to organize some tournaments. So I don't know. I know I can speak for my country. I don't know how it's in Croatia, but the things you said that you had weekly or monthly tournaments with the Overwatch team.
So we had our first tournament after like a long pause in November, I think. It was in
Yeah.
November, yeah. Then we had a new tournament only 3 weeks after. We had like this thing called Infogamer. That's
Okay.
like 1 week just developers presenting stuff, new peripherals, and
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
lot of stuff. And we had a Blizzard part, and
Whoa,
there was an
that's
Overwatch stand.
nice.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they actually organized a tournament together with Omen by HP and our regional shop for computers and such, Sancta Domenica, and they made a tournament, and it was pretty nice.
Yeah, actually they are doing something and I'm so proud of that I'm not sure if Croatia was like involved in some gaming communities before, like tournaments and such with the big names like Blizzard or I don't know, esports or anything. But that makes me really happy because there is like a future for us Macedonians too. I only know one of the Macedonians, and that's Saxa for the. He's a professional Dota 2 player, and he was like on the internationals last year, and that like can make me proud.
I know
Very
one
nice.
Macedonian. Actually, my friend is Macedonian. He has an ice cream shop. Jesus Christ, is the ice cream good? No, he actually opened.
No
He's
selling out. Sorry.
No, he's literally living in Macedonia 6 months, and then he comes in Croatia, sells ice cream for 6 months, and I mean the ice cream shop is really good. He makes his own ice cream. It's pretty peep good. So
It's
I
okay.
think you're allowed to
You
swear.
can,
I think you're
yeah.
allowed to swear.
You can say.
Yeah.
You can
This
say
is
it.
a PG.
This
This
is-
is PG-13 plus.
no. This is a friendly environment for families, kids,
Fine.
children, Nintendo, and such.
Okay.
Fuck.
Nintendo.
Oh.
Okay, so I
There you
think we are ready.
Excuse my friend here. He didn't.
Yep.
Pardon, mon français, oui.
Yeah. Okay.
We-
So Overwatch.
What
Yeah.
I mean, shut up.
Yeah, I think we are ready to start our question and answers the section of the podcast.
Yeah, we're taking questions. Everyone,
Go
start
for it.
Okay.
with questions. Go,
Okay,
go, go.
people, ask
Where
us
should I
anything.
answer? Found them.
What kind of ice cream? Overwatch ice cream would be vanilla because it's fucking boring. Okay, next.
Oh,
Oh
wow,
my
no,
God,
ice
that
cream. It would be an.
How long have you
animal
had
one.
that joke ready?
2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1. That's
What's
quick math.
what's
Every day, man, the block.
SO? Can Lego
Can
give
Lego
me
give me shout out.
Lego, what's your
Oh.
favorite brown guy in this Discord, Lego?
My
Be
obviously
very careful with
certified BG's impersonator.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
My brother till the end of time.
Why is there no Konami code Easter egg in Overwatch?
Smash
What
or
the
pass
fuck is
the other.
Konami code
Smash.
is so
What?
Smash.
outdated.
Smash. 100% Smash.
Do-
Why is there no Konami code Easter egg in Overwatch? Actually, if you go to the Overwatch website, I think it was up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, BA.
Do
You
know,
will see
Conte.
Diva training from the website. Yes.
do you know where is Lebanon? That's somewhere in the Asia, near the Emirates, I think. Nah?
There is a legitimate question in there saying, what would be your favorite support duo meta? I think Triple Tank, Ryan, Zarya, Hog with Lucio and Moira, and I wouldn't know which would be the best.
Actually,
DPS.
favorite support duo meta is currently, for me at least, Moira Lucia. Together
I
with
love Moira Lucio.
I
Tank.
ship Lucio and Mercy. That's just me.
Gay.
Lucio
Okay.
Moira is fairly strong right now.
I mean, if you're a Lucio main, you know that Lucio is gay, at least for me.
fair enough.
What?
So I can.
Not that we judge people. You
Chicken
can be-
tikka all the time.
You can be
I like Tikka, yes. Tikka
what?
women.
Fika. It's time for
BG's
fika.
I mean, man, he
No,
needs,
no.
he gotta be gay. Did you see that nipple? Oh man,
Okay, it's getting
Yo,
like.
let's move on
it's
to the question.
PG-13 plus, nah?
Guys, more questions. Come on.
Come on, guys.
I mean, let's go something about Overwatch meta and such. Not like what kind of dog is Mercy.
What kind of
please.
dog is Mercy? She's a
She's a
Corgi.
nerf piece dog.
she's a bitch. There you go. Okay, next.
One Ipum.
Oh,
Is every
actually,
Overwatch hero gay? I'm
so
pretty sure
Come
Sawyer
on,
is.
guys, please something with
Eva is.
meta. Come on.
I'm pretty sure Lucio is. I think Tracer. Wait, Tracer is. Okay. Long answer, short answer. Yes.
What is your preferred skin?
Lucio anniversary.
Anyone that I can peel off their dead corpse.
I
Actually,
mean, any skin for Widowmaker, that ass, yeah.
I don't like have a favorite Lucio skin, and I'm playing Lucio as a support.
Default
I-
skin, best skin.
Viability of Genji after Mercy patch. Genji is still very strong. I think
Genji
the
is always
hardest.
viable.
Yep, the hardest support to dive as Genji is still Moira, just because of her consistent damage output and her fade ability, as well as her self-healing potential. Genji into triple
Oh,
tank.
Lego, I have a question. Let me just type it in. Wait, at
Okay.
Lego.
No, you can like sad man. You
Shh,
don't
no,
have to.
I'm part of the chat now.
Okay.
Lego,
Would you like to get muted
hi.
too?
How are you?
Oof.
Okay, now, not really. So, I'm a Lucio main. We know that. You're a Lucio
Mhm.
main too. So, from one Lucio main to another Lucio main,
Mhm.
what do you think about Lucio's survivability after Blizzard introduced Moira to the game? Is it actually
would-
affected? Can Moira survive for longer than Lucio?
I think that the skill floor for surviving is lower on Moira than it is for Lucio. It is easier to survive as Moira longer than it is as Lucio, when being dove by, say, a Genji or Tracer.
That's because she's a new hero. People don't notice her on the map.
And it's more that, and let's say, for example, a Genji gets you to half health, dashes in, you can fade away, throw an orb, heal yourself, and the orb will heal you, and your right click will do damage to the Genji and heal yourself at the same time. Whereas with Lucio, you have a consistent 12 healing per second, and Moira's orb heals way faster than that. You have consistent 12, and you'd be forced to use your amp if you want to heal faster than that. And that's a very, very, very strong ability. Your Lucio's amp it up.
Yeah,
So
true.
actually, bottom line is that Moria will survive more than Lucio in a team fight.
No.
I will say, it's hard. I still don't know Moira that well, but if I were on Moira, I'd say I'd have more of a chance of surviving. I
No.
can't speak for everyone.
Okay, so I think I'm going to answer my own question. right
Okay.
now. I mean, there's no right answer because this game, in competitive sense, has currently ranks from bronze to grandmaster. Top 500 is a grandmaster, so we already know that. But we need to look at the facts. In bronze, we already know Moira is going to survive for longer than Lucio because bronze players aren't actually so mechanically skilled as someone from platinum, for instance. In platinum, they're going to be somewhere in the middle, Lucio and Moira together. But when you go to Masters and Grandmasters, and when you start playing with more skilled Lucios and Moiras, you're probably going to notice that Lucio is going to survive for longer than Moira. One of the reasons is Moira has an orb and a fade ability. Fade ability for escaping, for actually engaging in a fight. It doesn't matter right now. But the main reason is Moira only has every ability on cooldown except for healing her team or life stealing, while Lucio can heal his team while surviving, and if he really needs to be faster, he needs to switch to another crossfade, then jump around, heal himself. He needs to be very fast, very oriented,
Mm-hmm.
and during that time he can actually fight off anyone who is attacking. That's the main difference between Moira and Lucio.
Thank you very much.
I
And
did see a
now-
question in there regarding the back speed of Lucio. It's no set number, but there is absolutely a cap. But
Backspeed.
it's high enough to where you won't often hit it in a competitive match.
Is it set by the game itself, like a game's physical limit, or is it a hard cap on Lucio?
Hard
himself?
cap on Lucio.
It's a hard cap.
Okay.
And the problem is, he got that hard cap after the scroll wheel ban,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something I'm still really mad about in Blizzard. They just said
It's annoying
2
now.
days before the tournament, oh guys, yeah, you're not allowed to use scroll wheel. You just remove it from the key bindings. And
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, in what a lot of Lucio players will use is for their jump, they would use scroll down. So when you scroll down, there's a bunch of inputs for jump inputs, kind of like if you spam your spacebar incredibly fast. So when you scroll down, when you approach a wall, you'll jump off of it immediately. That way, it makes it much easier to pick up speed when jumping off of walls. I don't know, you guys probably remember I mentioned when you jump off a wall as Lucy, you get a speed boost in the direction you're looking. That scroll wheel gets you more consistent speed boost in a specific direction. It's very helpful for getting back to point faster from spawn.
Isn't that kind of like using macros, except
Yeah, and
Yes,
the
that's
thing
actually
is,
the reason.
main
why.
problem is Blizzard did that. You couldn't actually utilize his true speed boost with. You can try to use space. You're not going to have the same speed as using the scroll wheel because
It's all
scroll
right
wheel.
click now.
Yeah, it's all about the right click now. But before, I mean, DSP Stank was using the right click, and he was fast too. But at the same time, you using the scroll wheel, anyone using the scroll wheel, just using it once or twice on the wall, it's going to be faster than DSP Stanky. Now it's a lot different than it was. With a lot of new changes to the movement, like this new movement changes overall, and the scroll wheel nerf, the method of wall riding is actually changed. You can
It's
use the
genuinely
scroll
harder
wheel.
now.
You can still use the scroll wheel, but what I can say, at least from my experience, and I'm still actually practicing wall riding. There are a lot better wall riders than me, but that's because I wasn't actually even I wasn't a tryhard for wall rides. I can't really say that I ever was.
I
But-
was. I'll
Okay,
admit to it.
you were always.
Alright.
You can use scroll wheel to get speed, but if you want to get height and speed, you need to perfectly combo right click with the scroll wheel.
all right.
Right click is now much better to use in terms of gaining speed and getting verticality easily. Scroll wheel just isn't that reliable anymore especially in the middle of a fight, because you need to have your obviously your index finger on the mouse one all the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Can I just answer one more question?
I
Go for
have
it.
a question too.
I've been,
Oh,
I've
Ness
been
is here,
waiting.
yeah.
I've been
Hi.
waiting.
Yeah,
I've been
Yeah,
you
okay,
guys
she's first,
are
she's first.
amazing. Like I can listen to you all night.
waiting.
I was thinking, but I'm gonna let Slay
Slay
ask the
had the
question
question.
because mine is Moira related, and I guess his is
Okay.
Lucio related. So go
Mine
ahead.
is Sombra related. Emmy, a
Oh.
long time ago said,
I saw that question
should
too.
Sombra get a buff? If so, what kind of buff? If I could just start, because I'm actually a plat Sombra main.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I'm not even kidding.
Oh my
I
god.
used to be okay. Let's see. I used to be a main at the very beginning of the game, and then I switched over to a diva tank main, and then I switched over to a flex, which is what I'm right now. And right now I'm a flex slash Sombra main. And one thing I really like to point out about is that Sombra is really good right now, even if she's missing a few qualities. The only real complaint I have is with her translocator. It takes a solid second after pressing E for you to not take damage while translocating, because there could be many clutch moments where you would throw your translocator in midair, you would press E, and then you would take damage while translocating, which I think is mildly bullshit, because I feel like players should be rewarded for pressing the key at the right time. It's all about timing and all that shit.
we already had one ability and it got nerfed to the ground. It's called Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
Mercy
Pressing
is
the-
an ability.
She's an ability. She's not a character. She's an ability because no one actually
Because
played
of
her.
Resurrect.
Yeah.
I think Sombra doesn't need a buff, but just a translocator fix. That's
I
all.
think the Sombra right now is very strong. I will say that, especially, I would say the best Sombras are able to gain. The best Sombras are only as good as their team can coordinate well, because a good Sombra will need EMP, and especially on, for example, 2 CP defense, can get
Yes.
EMP practically every single fight.
Her
The
EMP is
EMP.
basically a iron pipe to the knee. Every time you use it and your team pushes forward, you're crippling all of your enemy's defenses. It's really strong ult, and you can charge it super fast. I think and maybe an EMP charge or like nerf even. It's so good. It's
I agree with Sojum. Don't buff Sombra.
I mean,
Uh,
one of the everyone is proposing one change for Sombra. I mean, she's fine and everything, but everyone is proposing one change. Make the spread of her gun smaller.
yes.
If you make
You could-
that, you'll just going to have a
You just have another soldier.
tracer who can heal herself and
that's
never
right.
heal.
But then you can add a damage fall off, perhaps. No.
The
No, she's
damage she does
already
already
going
is ridiculously low.
No, the fall off. The fall off.
Oh.
after
Yeah,
which range?
increase. No, decrease the fall off so that her SMG is actually more like an SMG. So she's forced to engage at very close quarters and make the spray of the SMG tighter so that she's able to like hit a bit more.
I mean, currently she can hit a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she can
because-
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think also her translocator should be thrown a bit slower so that you can't just throw it in some random direction and expect to live. But I feel like the translocator should be consistent when you press E. When you press E, you should be safe. That's it. Tracers can press E, they can live. How come Sombras can't? So you need to be able to throw the translocator and it should work, but you should be able to throw it slower. Maybe.
Anytime I play Sombra, I like forgot that there is like a delay when you get out of your hiding and I am trying to like how do you say the word? I brain freeze to
You have a brain
surprise
fart.
to surprise my enemies. Like as soon as I get out of hiding to like hug them and like start shooting,
Hug them.
hug them. But then
Hug
again,
them.
I forgot that there
Kill
is
'em with
some
kindness.
kind of a delay, like second or two, I don't know. And they always get me killed. Like, oh, there is a Sombra, bam, 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 you're dead.
I think
Yeah,
the
it's-
biggest
it's-
problem with
yeah.
Sombra
Yeah,
is that,
bronze pride, baby. That's
remember
how
we
we
talked
do
It
it.
needs to be,
about,
needs to be bronze. Live it up.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with bronze. But
Okay, so my question was, oh, sorry, you got.
wait, I was.
Go for it, Slay. What's up?
Go Lego, go
We were
Lego.
talking about a thing earlier about how Overwatch casual mode doesn't match like the real competitive side of it. I think that's Sombra in a nutshell, really. She's absolutely overpowered in competitiveness, but in casual game modes, it's actually a little bit difficult to play her because teams are uncoordinated, and enemies are usually solo flying. So in a 1v1 situation, Sombra isn't that great. She's more of a team crippler.
Yeah, and that's why I actually like the Mercy nerf, even though this is something I was talking about with my friends. They're nerfing Mercy in a completely wrong way. This is not how Mercy is supposed to be. But what I wanted to say is, I like the Mercy nerf only because other supports are not viable. That
Mhm.
means you're probably going to have a team with a good Ana player. And that also means if you're a Sombra which relies on charging the EMP by teamwork and such, one good nade is enough to make your plans go to hell and you're going to die.
Mm-hmm.
All
And
right.
I am extremely happy to see Anna being played more and more.
So my question actually was Mercy related, or more Moira related. So I am big on conspiracy. So my conspiracy theory about the Overwatch team was, what if Mercy was nerfed, so players would pick Moira more?
No, that's
Oh.
completely
Oh, come
wrong.
on! Like, let me leave my conspiracy a bit.
No, it's. I mean, I would say something, but the real reason she's nerfed is because she was already too OP. No,
Yes.
Yeah, I know we'll like cover that part in the first section of the podcast. We said why the official reasons were why the last nerf was needed for Mercy. But let me dream my dreams, dude. Like, there, Jeff
I
is
do it. I do
Jeff
Nerf
is
nursing.
nerfing. Yeah, he's
Nerf.
nerfing.
Murph
So
Nursey.
I do
Okay.
Play
appreciate
Moira.
the initial
I need to
initial
do
Mercy
something
rework was
really
amazing.
quickly. I'm just going to do something really quickly. I know no one is going to
Well,
miss me, but
our
BRB.
podcast is actually about to wrap up, but okay.
Oh, okay, then I'll stay
Yeah.
until the end because
We're gonna wrap up in about
yeah,
like,
because
3
we
minutes,
have
yeah.
so much things to talk about. Like I'm getting ideas, and once again, okay, Nessa English Heart. Once again, guys, thank you for answering our questionnaire. That was a lot of help, and we promise that we will cover the themes and the ideas that you gave us there. Also, I didn't inform Slay about this, but I'm planning on starting like content creation.
content cop.
No, I want some fun art Overwatch related for our YouTube channel and Twitter channel, because now I'm just using like some free wallpapers they were on the internet. And I was planning on, if anyone wants to join, he can send us an email. I'm gonna put the information later on the official Overwatch community announcements. So you can write to us, give us ideas, of course, for the next podcast. And also, if you want to be mentioned or to guest in our podcast, you can always contact us and
Email?
just say
What is this?
we have an
2012?
email. Shut up.
We have
Can you
Discord.
actually- Yeah, Discord too.
We have
Yeah.
Discord. Just hit us up on Discord, or if you're old-fashioned like Nessa, you
If
can
you see
email
him in
us
real
at
life,
It's
Yes.
more
Email.
professional with an email. Dude.
Most
like,
likely, what they would do is they would have a sort of form that you could fill out to apply to have or to be guested through
People
Modmail.
do that in civilized countries, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you
I
know what?
wouldn't
That's
know.
a perfectly good idea. We'll have a guest survey form, maybe.
Yeah.
They might do a
Or-
drive form through community announcements. They might do just a normal kind of like event host applications
So-
through Modmail.
Also,
Yeah.
we had in the questionnaire section when I posted. Actually, that was my.
Oh, Wayne is here. Hello.
Yeah, Voin. Hi, Voin.
Bojan,
I pinged him.
Bojan,
So
Bojan.
that was like a part. Do you want some of the professional Overwatch League players to join our
Oof.
podcast next? The next
Any one of them would
podcast?
be amazing.
But the thing is that I don't know anyone from them, and I should be going through the managers and assistants with the mail. So if any of you knows, even if I see someone mention XQC, so if you know him, just tell
I
him
mean,
about our
XQC is
podcast.
pretty-
Yeah.
XCC is currently very, very
He,
busy.
he,
Spread the
he has
word,
a lot
spread
of
the
time
word.
right now.
Yeah, spread the
He's
word,
very,
dudes.
very busy warming up that bench.
Oh, that's true.
Nice one.
So yes,
Oh.
you every help is appreciated, guys. So we won't be doing this if it wasn't for you. Like you answered our questionnaire more than we hoped for. So yeah, Slay, do you
Yes.
have some shout outs? Oh, before
Oh,
that,
shout-
next
shout-outs?
week. Next week. So as we all know, it's Lunar New Year next week. So Year of the Dog.
The year of the dog.
Yes. So
should
they
shout
will-
out.
恭喜发财，恭喜发财。
yeah. So they're I think they're gonna be a patch on the 8th of February, and the next podcast will be about that. I saw some videos today, and they were all like talking about the coordination with Heroes of the Storm and this
Ew.
event. So probably more of the skins and sprays and such will be Heroes of the Storm related, or maybe the things that are already like changed there. So we will see. We are excited
Okay.
about next week. So
Yes.
voice
Can I have
like
my
a-
shout out now?
yes, please.
Oh,
Okay, very, very quick note because we're actually about to hit 10 minutes over on the podcast. So, first of all, thank every single one of you so much for taking your time to listen to our podcast. It really means a lot to me and Nessa. We took the time to make the survey, and I'm really glad that you guys took your time to answer the survey for us. Thank you, all of you, so much. We really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. Second of all, yes, next week is going to be Lunar Festival. We're going to be talking about it, but I'd like to apologize formally, firsthand, that this stream was maybe a little bit too dry, only about Overwatch content. No, maybe next week we can have a little bit more other topics to talk about, Nessa.
okay. This is the part of the
Okay.
podcast where a guy who actually wasn't invited to talk and was just kind of brought in here is going to shout.
No, it's fine. We just
Yeah,
Going to
but-
make,
randomly unmute
going to
That
make a
was
shout
our-
out for
our-
myself. Just a
yeah.
second, I'm making a shout out for myself. Okay,
Okay.
so I think
We
it,
do
my
what we want.
Twitch link is like this. Yeah. No. Okay, I fucked it up. Oh, no. PG-13. Yeah.
Nice. You can't
Yeah.
even advertise your own stream. Amazing.
I'm not that popular. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
okay.
you're
Honda is
making
very unpopular.
content. That's impressive, dude. Like, why didn't you
Making
mention?
content is an actual compliment to my
See,
work. so yeah.
content implies that it's good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to post another link to sandbox.gg. I'm currently not working as a coach like I was, and that's actually funny. Funny story. But we're
No,
wrapping
I'm the
this up.
coach
soon.
now.
Maybe next
Yeah.
podcast. no?
Maybe next podcast.
Yeah, we are
Maybe,
planning
maybe.
on doing this weekly. So, maybe.
Oh, it's weekly now. Ah.
Oh,
It's
whoa.
weekly, dude. Like
You
what?
you said it was gonna be bi-weekly, no? But you know what?
We
everyone,
have to
everyone
cover the year of the dog, dude. Like, no.
You know, if you're busy,
We have
Nessa,
to.
I'll feel for you. It's fine. I have my
Yeah.
charming
And
personality.
I really liked the thing that Ponda like joined us and gave us insights of how things work in his world. So I think we will going to make this like okay, brain freeze again. How is the
Better.
word?
Make this better. Let's make
Like
this
not
better.
make better like something that occurs a lot. Like next week, if someone
Often.
wants to join, we can like unmute him and let him speak if he has something to
Basically,
say. Like
basically
Ponda
what
did.
Nessa is saying, that we're chill. If you have anything cool you want to talk to us about, if you have anything that you want to discuss to everyone about, we'll unmute you as long as you're friendly and non-toxic, and you keep this a PG-13 environment.
This is a just
Yes.
imagine this is going live on every Nintendo Switch console. You need to
Well,
know that
shit.
every small child is looking and trying to hear you speak, and just try to imagine that at the same time you're just saying fuck, and a small
Well,
child now cries.
well,
Just
shit.
imagine that.
I fucked up. I can't fucking swear any fucking.
Okay.
Here, I'll give a. Are we doing shoutouts now?
Yeah, Lego, it's your turn, man.
Right. I'll do
Yeah.
one for Rena. She's been bugging me for the last hour and a half now, asking me to shout out. Let's see. Chow's there. I know she's happy because it's the year of the dog. I already gave one for Nova.
Yeah, shout outs to Nova. We love you, girl.
One for me,
Dylan's
thank you.
here. Dylan's here, the boosted Moira main. Emmy's here. Probably the best Anna I know so far, besides myself.
Oh, come on. Just give
Oh
her,
my-
give her
Sorry,
Anna.
Lego,
You have
can't hear
Lucio.
you. Can hear you. I can only hear your ego speaking.
Hey, I would talk about my Lucio, but Ponda's here. If Ponda wasn't here, I'd be bragging
Oh,
about
okay.
Lucio.
Okay, I mean we can fix that. Just okay.
Okay.
Besides, I don't even play. I play Zenyatta more. I'll give. Let's see. BG's is here. Probably the oldest friend I've had on Discord.
Yeah, bitches, shout outs.
Ugh.
Bless
Favorite.
you.
Don't
Professional.
forget your Serbian friend, fam.
Is Voyin here?
Professional.
Yeah,
Voyin?
Voin. Shout outs to Voin.
Hey,
It's
Shout out to
Voyin
Vojen.
too.
It's Vojen.
Voyin.
Vojen. No, it's
It's
Vojen.
pronounced. It's
Voyin.
pronounced.
Voin.
Voyin.
If Lego can pronounce it, you can pronounce it too. Jesus Christ, come on.
That's true.
It's
And for
Vojen.
Fox for living on this server.
Okay,
Fox?
Lego. Every next shout out will cost you like $5. So I'm joking.
Oh, I mean, he has a PayPal full of money right now. So
I don't know about that, man.
Doesn't coaching give you money?
No. I
No,
wish.
it's all
well,
for
it depends which part.
it's,
Yeah.
I mean, Lego.
it's all for the
Coaching or
love of
carrying?
the.
Coaching.
No,
quote
real.
unquote.
No, I'm actually talking about real coaching.
No, Ponda actually did coach through a specific website and was paid for it.
Whoa.
I can still give a shout out. Look at this side. It's a very awesome. No, okay, I'm not. No, no,
Well,
no.
we actually didn't even talk about your coaching position, so you have to guest us again
Sounds
when you're
good.
free. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's wrap up, guys.
I don't get my shoutouts. What?
No, you
No,
get
of
your
course
shots.
not. Of course not. You get your shoutouts now.
So
Go.
again,
5, 4, 3, 2, and thank you guys for being part of the podcast.
so shout outs to again this Discord server admins and moderators, the staff that made this podcast possible. We love you guys. Like, you were the best, and every one of you who joined in. Like, thank you and support us. And every information about how to contact us and any ideas and fun related content, you can send it to us here on the Discord, not on
This-
the
no.
email.
On the email, this is the most professional email, guys.
If
Oh,
you have any,
OW podcast 123. Oh my God! You actually added the 123.
Yes. Come on.
if you
give me
do
a
have
break.
any genuine, for the podcast, I would suggest sending it to Modmail.
Yeah,
So-
I was the one who relayed everything through Oddmail. Actually, before that, thank God to Dragory. Dragory was actually
Yeah,
the one who was
he's the
able to
best.
make this happen.
Grigori is the best.
Like, if you have any
Dragory.
problems, just
Gregory.
Okay, that's not
Yeah.
true. Don't ping him for just any problem.
No,
but-
not ping him. Like use mod mail, like every normal person will do, and the
By more
staff.
mail, she means just private message and then spam the shit out of it.
Yep.
No, dude.
That's how it works.
Anyways, we like our Overwatch Discord staff. We can not do this without them. So that's it.
So?
We can wrap
So?
it up.
Wow. Great
Thanks
hosting.
Thanks for
there.
joining in. Appreciate
Okay.
everyone for joining
Thanks,
in.
Lego. Thanks, Ponda. You were guys great.
Thank you for being
know.
a great,
Don't worry.
great honor.
You already know.
Thank you, Ponda, for your great insight, and thank you, Nessa, for your amazing commentary.
Okay, thank you for being you,
Dude,
I guess.
Do you have something
You-
for my throat? It hurts, Slay. Do you have something?
I have lozenges in my room. I can send some over by mail if you.
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
and,
it
and
helps.
shout outs to your roommate, Slay.
Oh,
Jason.
yeah. Hey, Jason, say hi.
Yeah, Jason.
Quantum podcast
Scream
is
something.
over.
Okay, we need to do the clapping sound again. Tell him to
Okay.
clap.
Yay.
All right.
Guys,
Go for it.
please wrap it up. Can you guys make it end a little bit faster because people are
We're 15
Opinions
minutes
are
asking
over,
questions.
Nessa. Can we finish already?
Okay.
Opinions and
Wait,
houses.
I need to
Opinions-
like
No.
play the
next
intro.
podcast. No.
Play the
They are
music.
Okay,
asking-
fine, play it.
They're asking for opinion on hands, so please wrap it up a little bit faster, yeah? Please? Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys so much for
Thank
watching.
you guys.
This is the
Bye
end.
bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.